we moved to Los Angeles in beginning of 1972. We got in my Toyota that was Lindsay named the Pocket in the Pocket, right, in the green. And we drove to LA, and we lived with Keith Olsen, who was our producer, who basically kind of like saw us on the only like little tour we ever did with Leon Russell, which was 4 shows with Leon Russell, Salt Lake City, San Diego.
How did you get that?
I don't know, but however we got it, I was going. If I had to carry the piano, it didn't matter. And so I got to stand on the side of the stage for 4 nights and watch Leon Russell play. And I mean, that's an influence. He was very much an influence of mine. And so Lindsay and I were seen by Keith Olsen. And so he moved, like he said, the whole band came down to Los Angeles. We stayed at like the Tropicana Hotel, right? Which is the worst place in the world. But in the scheme of your rock and roll life, everybody needs to stay there for a night. And we got, well, what happened was is that the band ended up they ended up really driving everybody else in the band away. And which is what drove Lindsay and I together, because Lindsay and I were never going together in all the 3.5 years that we were in the Fritz Raybein Memorial Band. Can you believe this name? We were both going with someone else. And what happened really, the reason Lindsay and I ever started really going together was because it was kind of so cruel that these people in Los Angeles had decided to break this band up. And they succeeded. They broke it up. And so the other 3 members, who were really very good, and they only took me because they knew that they weren't going to get Lindsay without me, and also as a little kind of backup to Lindsay. So we signed the Buckingham Nicks contract, and we did an album that is now ours. Actually, Lindsay and I bought it.
It's an album you shouldn't be.
And we may just go back in and like we mix a little bit and maybe do a little singing on it, and because it's a very good album. I sat in a room with Lindsay for 9 months in his father's coffee plant, a little tiny room that lived in this, while we did half of the songs on that record on a 4-track handpan. Like we'd go when the workers went home, we'd go at 7 o'clock and we'd stay until 6:30, all night long, up by the Cow Palace in San Francisco. And I would sit there every night, all night long, and listen, like, to him put like the lead on So Afraid, or the 7-minute acoustical version of Frozen Love, which he just plays all the way through.
Okay, so the initial success of that album, then it starts travelling into what was probably one of the most incredible emergences of 2 Americans with a very established English band. How did that happen? I mean, I've heard many stories, but...
All right, I'm going to conceptualize this and put it into a small... I love these stories, really. Lindsay and I lived in an apartment on Fairfax and Orange Grove.
In L.A.?
Yes, in Los Angeles, right, from Cantor's, down from Cantor. And Richard Dassett, who ended up to be one of our producers, because we took Richard with us. We weren't going alone. And I guess Mick Fleetwood just went out to a studio in Los Angeles that's out in the valley that's called Sound City. It's right across the freeway from like this huge brewery, beer brewery. So you can never get lost because you always smell beer and know that you're coming upon Sound City. So you turn off and you go to this place. And he went there to check out Keith Olsen's work. So Keith put on Frozen Love, you know, which is the dun 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 dun. And what did Fleetwood Mac need? They needed a guitar player. And in Frozen Love, Lindsay does an incredible job of he plays, that's a live thing all the way through, straight. And he's also an incredible lead guitar player when he wants to be. And Mick Fleetwood said, here's Peter Green for us.
Right.
And the fact that we know, as history says, they already had a lady singer, they didn't really need another one.
Well, I've got to get on to that in a moment.
But the thing was is that they needed a guitar player bad enough to say, well, you know, we'll take her. If she's good, good. If she's not, she's gone, you know. And you know, Fleetwood Mac is a band, and they just go right on, and they are famous for, you know, like their guitar players, you know.
Right.
So I was a surprise to them, because they didn't expect really anything from me.
Okay, so Mick Fleetwood takes on Lindsay and yourself.
Right.
You suddenly then are becoming a band.
Right.
Now, I mean...
And not even suddenly. It was like, the reason I told you we lived on Orange Grove in Fairfax was because Christine's mother was like very psychic. And the last thing that Chris's mom said to her before she died was, "You will find it on Orange Grove." And of course, Christine, with her dry English humor, is sure she's going to be like picking oranges, right, somewhere in an orange grove in California. And they found us on Orange Grove.
Right.
And we became, from the day that we all met at a Mexican restaurant, and they drove up in these two wild Cadillacs, white, like with fins, you know, and they like clunked up, you know, Lizzie and I are like going, these people are strange. And they get out, and it's like, it was really love at first sight. I mean, it was like, how could you not love these people, you know? So we had dinner, and it was never like, do you want to join the band? It was like, well, rehearsal's tomorrow at ICM in the basement, and you'll get paid $200 a week in cash, each of you. And I'm going, who rich, who rich? And it was like, it was instant. And I went out and bought all the Fleetwood Mac albums with my last, like, pennies, and listened to every side, back to front, to see if I could find any thematic thing in this band that I felt was something that I could do. And I did. I found a real mystical thing in it, from Christine's songs to Peter's, to the Green Manalishi, to Black Magic Women, to all the things I loved. Some good ballads, some really neat rock and roll, some really good rock and roll stuff. And I loved Peter Green. So I said, yeah, I can blend.